All right, hey you guys. I'm here with my new project. You can kind of see it a little bit. Let's see. Let me get a little closer, but I'm gonna post pictures anyways. There we go. This is my new baby. So I decided instead of doing melt and pour soaps and adding things to it to make it my own, I decided to start making the soap completely from scratch. That way it'll really be my own. Total control of all of the ingredients, everything that goes into it. I know for a fact it's all natural, all raw ingredients, and I made it by hand. So I made this loaf last night and I let it dry, so it's been about a day. It's hard now. This is oatmeal honey lavender. I decided to make my first loaf my most popular soap, and I'm gonna cut it on camera for you guys in just a second. All right, so first I'm gonna start by taking it out the mold. I've never cut soap before, you guys, like ever. Like, this is my first time doing everything. So we'll see. I just watched some videos on, how it's done. Read a few little articles. Actually, to make this one, I just kind of typed in the ingredients. It's kind of sticky. Well, not sticky. It's like, it sounds like Velcro when you pull it. But found some ingredients online. Typed the ingredients that I wanted to use, should I say, in online, and found a recipe that I wanted to stick with, and I went for it. The reason why I was using melt and pour in the first place is because I was scared to use lye. Like, that was my whole thing. Lye was so unattractive to me. I was like, it's gonna burn me, it's gonna burn my eyes, my skin, my everything, my house is gonna stink, it's gonna smell so bad. I just had a whole negative mindset altogether about using lye. So my experience with actually using a lye, I didn't realize that it wasn't going to be in liquid form. So the lye that I have is actually like little pebbles that you mix with the liquid. And when they tell you it's strong, it is strong. I guess I didn't believe it. I wore my gloves. I didn't put a mask on. I initially planned to wear a mask, but I kind of forgot. It slipped my mind and didn't even think about the fumes. The fumes are pretty strong. When I initially started mixing it, I did start coughing. I had to make sure the windows were open, like all of the windows were open. I ended up grabbing like a little floor fan and turning that on to help kind of push the fumes away. But once it settled, after it was mixed, the fumes didn't stay that long. So it wasn't that bad. I didn't get burned, nothing splashed. I was very careful. So the horror story that I played out in my mind, it was nowhere near that. And I used the hot process method. That's why it looks a little like rustic type. It's not super clean cut. It looks like chunky, so to say. But that's because I use hot process. I chose to use hot process method for making the soap because of the curing time. When you make soap with the cold process method, it has to sit for like 4 to 6 weeks. And I was like, man, that just seems like forever. I don't have that kind of time. And even if I did, I don't want to wait that long. I want to make it. I want to get out there. I was just really excited about making the soap and getting people to try it out and get feedback. So with hot process, they say to let it sit 2 to 3 weeks just to make sure that it's completely cured, even though the heat is supposed to speed up that process. But they say still let it wait 2 to 3 weeks, but in actuality, it's supposed to be ready to be used in about 2 to 3 days. So that's why I chose that method. That way I can make it and get it right out to you guys, and it's ready to go without you placing an order and you have to wait 6 weeks, because I made this batch and it has to sit, and then that order goes out and then you want to order it again and it's not ready. I just want to save all that. Once I get better, hey, I might experiment and make some little special ones or limited edition ones and post them on Adrianne's Naturals, but we'll see. But this process, it actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't that scary. Once I got going, it was actually pretty easy, but I'm also pretty crafty. Well, if you ask me. And here we go, the first cut ever. And y'all just got to witness it. Like, what? How dope is that, right? So, oops. That's what it looks like. There we go. Got a nice little, yellowish tint. So the little flakes of the oatmeal in there, I chopped it up fine. I don't have a coffee grinder, so I just chopped it up really fine with a knife. The honey was raw honey. I put that in there. Lavender essential and rosehip seed oil. I had some of that. I put some of that in there, along with a bunch of other oils to make the soap natural, you know? And it's still a little soft, still a little wet, so it is gonna have to sit. Like I said, they said it has to sit a few days before you can use it. It's technically soap by now, they say, but it does need to sit before you use it so that you get the best results out of your soap. And that's what I'm looking for, the best results, so I can bring y'all the best product, you know? So, I'm very excited also to see how many bars I get out of this loaf. They say, I hope they're called loaves or else I'm sounding real crazy. But they say each loaf is supposed to be at least 7 bars of soap. So I wasn't for sure of the measurements. I think I'm doing it right. And we're gonna see how many I get. But I think I'm gonna get about 7. If not, maybe more. I'll take more. More is good, more is better. And you just let them sit out. Basically to help get rid of the moisture that's in it, because you do use water. So the way I picture it is kind of like waiting for the soap to dry out so you can use it, which sounds weird, like you're waiting for something that you use with water to dry out. Crazy, right? But you're waiting for most of the moisture to kind of evaporate out of there. So you get your nice, hard piece of soap, which is also going to help it last longer. Nobody wants no soft, flimsy soap that's just going to melt as soon as you try to use it or touch it, or, you know, that's pretty whack. That's no fun. Okay, we're doing pretty good, you guys. We got about 2, 4, 6, oh, we got 8, okay. Past the 7 already. I kind of figured that. I'm not for sure if the loaves come in one standard size. Well, the molding, should I say. I did see some videos where some looked a little bigger than others. It could have been the angle of the camera. I don't know. And I feel like mine's are the proper size. I don't feel like I'm cheating anyone here. I'll do a little more research to make sure, but I don't feel like I'm cheating anybody. I feel like I'm doing this just right. The right size. Standard size. All right, so this is pretty dope, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces. And a little skinny one. This one is not quite all the way there. So it's 11 pieces. They say 7 to 9. And I feel like they say that because the first piece and the last piece, you know, they got that funniness, that funny little shape to them. They're not quite as perfect, you know, in comparison, because they're on the end. It's like the ends of the bread, you know, like a loaf of bread. You get the end. Nobody wants that because they look all weird. They're shaped funny. Same concept here. So it's really 9 good ones, and you can work with the other 2. And that's probably why a lot of them were using their ends as samples. The sample size, because like this one is almost like half the size of the other ones. And a lot of them were cutting their samples in half the size of their normal pieces. And I wasn't quite sure how to get the oatmeal to stick on top, just for a little decoration. But I did pretty good. I think I did pretty good, especially for my first time. A good amount of it stayed. So, and it's just for decoration. There's oatmeal actually inside of the soap, and I just put it on top just to make it cute, make it my own. But that's it. So they recommend that you clean up the edges just so it looks pretty. So I'm going to do that, take a few pictures, and I'm going to post them. If you have any more questions about my first time, the major thing is the fumes. Next time I will be wearing a mask, definitely. Because I was by my kitchen window. I had my kitchen fan on, my dining room fan on, and that just wasn't enough. And I had my living room window open, my bedroom window open, just so that air could circulate through. I was still choking. Not uncontrollably, but the fumes, I can visibly see the fumes coming up. I could smell them, and it kind of choked me up a little bit. I had to step away for a second, grab the fan, and just blow them out. After that, everything was cake. Everything was so easy. It was literally getting your oils and mixing them together, letting them melt in you know, the heat, and adding the lye solution in, being careful not to splash it on yourself, and letting it sit. It cooks over on itself. It literally, once you get everything mixed together, all the work, it does the work on its own, and it's wonderful. You do have to pay attention to it so you don't have a mess all over the place, but other than that, it's fine. It's just like cooking. So I'm happy, I'm proud of the outcome, and I can't wait to use it. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. But like I said, stay tuned for these pictures though, the final ones.